Okay, I want to talk about this comment here for a little bit that Ron fan 69 left. Okay, Bill, you're wrong. The globalists have won. The only rightful activist activity now is to activate for stopping having kids. Okay, well, this is what I'm going to reply to. Okay, first off, the only reason evil's winning is because good is not fighting back. When good lays down and does nothing about nothing, then of course evil wins. And that's what we witness going on in today's society to begin with for the majority of people out here. The majority of good people are outnumbered by people who don't care. And the majority of good people out here that are not only outnumbered by people who don't care, are doing nothing in return themselves to step up against evil. And as long as good lays down, turns his back, and looks the other way, evil will always win. So when you say the globalists have won, well, I want you to go look in the mirror. You're a prime example of why the globalists are winning. Because you lay down and do nothing about it. But as far as saying, I could agree it's a very bad time to bring children into this world with all the lies and the propaganda and the BS that's going on. I could totally agree with that statement within itself. But at the same time, good luck at that one, huh? Because the majority of people have already replaced love with lust. They don't even know what love is. They only know what lust is. And sex has become the new love, right? And it's all a game about getting yourself into somebody else's pants, right? And usury. So, as long as people are out there still pushing to get sex, then there'll still always be kids. So good luck at that one, huh? You're not going to stop the birth of kids, and if you did, you'd just be going along with the globalist. So if you're really an activist and you believe that all kids never should be no more births happening, then you're going along with the population reduction agenda. Okay, so you're going along with eugenics and you're going along with population reduction. Where's that going to get you? The only reason the globalists are winning is because nobody's doing nothing about nothing. Evil can't win if good fights back. But it's when good don't fight back that evil wins. And right now, the world's being ruled by evil, and the majority of people's mindsets are evil, and they don't even know they are. Because they've been so conditioned, so programmed, no lie, so conditioned and so programmed, they can't even conceive how they're actually part of the problem. The majority of people can't even conceive how they're part of the problem. And you do it naively without knowing you are part of the problem. When you want to criticize me for applauding Steve Hoka, you can criticize me till you're blue in the face. I really don't care what you think. Steve Hoka earned what he got. Steve Hoka did more than what I see most people willing to do, period. He saw a problem within his own community, and he went out and he attempted to do something to correct that problem, even with no experience in his background and having to do everything on his own. He went out and he gave his best effort to try to put himself in a position to be able to correct the problem that he saw in his community. So I don't care what anybody says to me about what Steve Hoka. That man's already done more just in them actions than 90% of all of you. And I don't care what anybody says. That's the fact. The fact is, just them actions alone, he stands out in the crowd as somebody who is willing to try to do something to solve a problem in his community, which is more than most people in today's society. So when you're going to tell me that the globalists have won, I'm wrong, and the globalists have won, well, if it only takes one or two people to make change within their community, and that statement Steve Holka said was correct. That comes from somebody willing to get up off their duff to do something about something. And that's what stands out to me, is he went out of his way to do something which is more than this person running their mouth at me is doing. When's the last time you done something? See, that would go out to Ron Fan 69. When's the last time you done something? When you said the globalists have won, maybe you want to go look in the mirror and you'll figure out why they won. Because they won in your mind because you're not willing to do anything about anything, right? That is how evil wins, is when good lays down and does nothing about nothing. But when good stands up and recognizes wrong and challenges that wrong and goes out to do something about it, that is what led this country, and anybody that's ever had freedom in their life, that's where they got it from. They got it from people like that are willing to stand up and fight against corruption. Unfortunately, we are in a very bad situation in our society because we have allowed corruption to run your lives. From your school system to your media to you name it. The lies and the corruption is overwhelming and it's pathetic. Can the corruption be stopped? Yes, if good wants it stopped. If enough people really wanted it stopped, it would be stopped. Because this world still comes down to this. We, the people of this planet, are what make this planet what it is. It's only as bad as it is right now because we've allowed it to become that way. And only we can change that by changing your attitude. By recognizing right from wrong and changing your attitude. And by being willing to try to do something about something. And that's what Steve Holka done here. He gave his best to try to change the problem within his own community. And I don't care who you are, there's nobody, and I mean nobody, that can ever take that from him. He will always have my utmost respect from that alone. I don't care what you say about anything else that Steve Holka says or his opinions. He has a right to his opinions. But the one thing that none of you can stand up against is the fact that this man went out of his way because he actually has a heart and he actually cares about what's right and what's wrong. Because if he didn't have that heart and didn't have that care, he wouldn't have done what he done. He done what he done because he has the drive and the care. That's right, and the care and the passion to want what's right within his own community. So therefore, as far as what Ron said to me here, I could care less what you say. When you tell me I'm wrong, the globalists have won, you better remember this. It's only one way evil wins. And that's when good does nothing about it. So, Ron, if you want to be part of the problem, you go right ahead and be part of the problem. Because, see, I'm not afraid to get up and go out in my community and do whatever I could do myself. And when somebody like Steve Hogan could go out of his way and do what he done, I don't give a shit how jealous you are, how mad you get at that. It's through actions that Steve Hogan done himself. It's people just like-minded like Steve Hogan throughout history that have changed things for the good for everybody. Because they didn't have the attitude, the evil one, the globalist one, and they just gave up. Steve Hogan didn't have that attitude or personality about him. His attitude was he saw wrong within his own community. He wanted to stop and he cared. And he left his home with no experience. And he gave every last bit of effort that he could to make a change. And I'll guarantee you that's more than 90% of the people in this country right now would ever even do themselves. So I want to hear no grief out of your mouths about Steve Hogan. Because Steve Hogan has done more than what majority of you people would ever even do. And that's no lie. That's factual truth in your face. Now, I come up here once a week right now, and I do a couple live streams a week. I do on Sunday night with Jerry, and I do Thursday, Monday night. Possibly it's going to be with Jerry, and it's going to be with Anna. And it's going to be TFL dating scene topics. And we're going to do a whole different way now, because, see, now we're going to start pointing out behaviors. Behaviors from men and behaviors from women. Why are we pointing out and why are we going to be talking about behaviors and showing the behaviors? Because it's these behaviors that contributes to the problems that we have amongst the genders. The breakdown of the family unit. The destruction of the family unit. The breakdown of our society and the division between men and women. And for so many men living TFL through no want of their own. And for the women who are being rewarded for bad behavior. And men who also get rewarded for bad behaviors. It's the behaviors of men and behaviors of women that we are going to be focusing in on and addressing. And where did you get these behaviors from? And to understand your own behavior so that you can better yourself, so that she can better herself and he can better himself, and so that we could bring the genders back together again and stop the destruction of the family unit and bring men and women back together again. That's really what it's about. It's about what's right for everybody. It's not about one gender being over the top of somebody else. The bad behaviors and being rewarded for bad behavior has to come to a stop. The people who deserve to be rewarded are the people who represent good behavior that cares about everybody and cares about what's right. Steve Hoka would deserve to be rewarded. Why? Because he didn't care about just Steve Hoka. He didn't care about just himself. Outside of the dating scene, he cared about his community and he cared about what's right and wrong. And that's what TFL is going to be about now. It's about pointing out the behaviors of men and women both. And not condoning bad behavior. Not awarding bad behavior. But showing where the behavior come from. Showing how the social conditioning machine is responsible for our behaviors to begin with. So that we can see how we've been lied to and programmed. And how our own actions can affect other people. So that we can try to strive to have a better spot, a better world for all of us. and so that men and women can get a fair shake in life. That's right, men as well as women. Not just one-sidedness. Double standards and double standards and one-sidedness and rewarding people for bad behavior has to go away. So the dating scene topic show is going to be centered in that area. And yes, Anna will be on the show with me. Anna's a part of TFL now. And Anna will be here. And she's going to do her best to help me to reach as many people as we can. And for people like Steve Hoka, he would always be welcome to come into this show anytime he wants. But that's what this is about. It's about what's right for everybody. This is not about me. This is not about myself. This is not about that. This is about all of us. This is about what's right for everybody. It's not about selfishness. It's not about double standards. It's about trying to bring an end to the corruption and the breakdown of the family unit. It's about trying to bring us back together again, the genders, and to stop the division, and to maybe save some lives while we're at it, and save your children's futures as well. It's just such a deep topic. But you can bet you, bottom line, Monday night, Anna will be up here with me, and we will be doing live streams. And this is where we're going with it. And this is where I want to encourage men and women both to join in on this. And to help us. To help everybody. To stop the corruption that's going on, the division that's going on. May not happen overnight, but if we don't start somewhere, it can never change. And don't say it can't change, because change can happen. You have to first want it first, right? Right. And I don't want to see TFL go on forever and ever and ever. I don't want to see so many men, young men, had to go their lives with nobody in their life because of the corruption, because of the division and the breakdown of the genders. I don't want to see men slamming women and women slamming men. I want us looking at each other as human beings that we are, recognizing each other as human beings, and to stop that division, and to start thinking and caring about other people as much as you care about yourself. Anyhow, I could go on for hours with this, but I'm not going to say any more other than this. No, the globalists haven't won. And the only reason evil can win is when good does absolutely nothing about it. So for Ron, when you want to say I'm wrong, the globalists have won, in your mind they've won because you've already gave up. That's why they won. Because evil don't win as long as good don't lay down and do nothing about it. That's the only way evil can win, is when good does nothing about it. And there's only one way TFL can go on forever, is when nobody wants to do anything about it. Well, I'm not willing to just quit. I haven't quit in 15 years, so don't think I'm going to start quitting now, because I'm not.